Alright, so, this is another Patreon request, and this one comes from Nolan Unejo, who asked me to do another fun crossover idea, and this is Godzilla versus the DC Universe. So, as always, like I said before with other Patreon requests, just if you want to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can hit the 4th tier and start asking me for videos to do here on YouTube. And also get access to all the other stuff over on my Patreon as well. So, let's get started. Now, this is a crossover that could happen. Like, in theory, this could happen between DC and IDW. They've been very close, and now that Toho is letting them do crossovers with other stuff, of course, obviously, we have the now famous Godzilla vs. Power Rangers crossover. That was a major moment of having Godzilla versus Power Rangers. And not only that, like, now that it's opened the door for other hopefully more crossovers with IDW, so hopefully we get at least a Godzilla vs. Justice League comic. But for now, let's just focus on this story. So this story takes place, it starts in LexCorp, and LexCorp has been using boom tube technology that they stole during a recent clash with Darkseid and the Justice League, and have been using it in a secret location to open a doorway to other universes. Basically, Lex's whole scheme this time around is to try to harvest new resources and corner the market on it from other universes, for instance, and compete with fossil fuels and corner the market on renewable energy, this time from other universes. However, the first door he opens is into another universe, and at first he thinks that we just open a door to Tokyo, and from that universe, Godzilla just comes barreling through. And Godzilla is now in the DC universe. After tearing through the lab, Godzilla breaks out of the mountainside it's hiding in, and Luthor is like, fuck. This, I'm not gonna admit I made a mistake, so I'm not gonna. But yeah, this is pretty bad. Like, this is on a scale of 1 to bad, this is bad. But anyway, Godzilla is now making his way through the city, and the first superhero to encounter him, because this is close to Metropolis, is obviously Superman. So we get a fight between Godzilla and Superman, and Godzilla is at first like confused because he's like, What is this? Like, he's just seeing, like, a small flying man coming at him, and then he gets punched, and while he doesn't get knocked down Godzilla, he does make him, like, stumble, and Godzilla is just like, fuck you, blasts Superman dead on, and Superman's wounded. They keep fighting, and Superman is like, this feels really weird. That's just a little nod, because no one's going to get this joke. That's a little nod to the Max Fleischer cartoon, where Superman fought a Godzilla-like monster that actually came before Godzilla and was believed to be one of the major inspirations for Godzilla. So you gotta have a little Max Fleischer reference right there. Anyway, so soon enough, the rest of the Justice League arrive, and Wonder Woman and Green Lantern's Hal actually creates like a giant mecha out of his ring and just starts firing away at Godzilla, just completely opening fire on him. Godzilla just knocks it out of the way. Wonder Woman comes in, uses the lasso of truth around it to try to hold the monster. Godzilla just flings his neck to the side and sends Wonder Woman smashing into a building. Meanwhile, Luthor is like, well, I'm going to take care of this, and unleashes Titano, the kryptonite gorilla, to battle Godzilla. So we get like a Godzilla versus a faux Godzilla versus Kong fight. So the Justice League is now caught between a battle between Kong and Titano, as the two do battle with each other. They're just tearing through Metropolis. The battle soon. Godzilla does defeat Titano and makes his way into the sea. The Justice League go after him, or rather, they call upon Aquaman to keep track of him. And while Godzilla is fast, Aquaman is fast underwater, and he summons several sea monsters to battle Godzilla under the water. One of which being Topo, one of his giant sea monster guardian of Atlantis. So Godzilla does do battle with Topo. He does battle with other giant sea monsters and sea serpents that Aquaman summons to clash with him. Godzilla fights his way through them. Meanwhile, Superman finds Lex and is like, "What did you do?" And he's like, "I didn't do anything." "What'd you do, Lex?" "All right, I fucking brought it through." So Luthor is forced to build a portal to send the monster back to its own universe. To send Godzilla back to his own universe. But Mr. Terrific and Hal help him. Like, Hal uses his construct to help put things together, while Mr. Terrific oversees it. And Cyborg is with them to also assist. So we got Mr. Terrific, Cyborg, and Hal all working around the clock to rebuild this portal. Meanwhile, the rest of the League is doing battle is trying to slow down the monster before it reaches another city, and that being Gotham. So Batman is like, well, this is the Night of the Monster Men all over again, and this time around, he actually, after the Night of the Monster Men, Bruce actually has a protocol to handle monsters like this. And that protocol is a giant bat mech called the Bat Slayer, which is this huge mecha that is piloted by members of the Bat family in a very Power Rangers-esque manner. So Godzilla does battle with that, while the rest of the League assist. You've got the Superman family trying to pin him down. You have several other human lanterns together. Even members of the JSA and the Shazam family are trying to stop Godzilla. But nothing is working. He is just trouncing his way. He actually beats down Atom Smasher, who grows big. They even have members of the Suicide Squad, one of them being Giganta. So we have Giganta and Atom Smasher working together to try to hold him, and Godzilla just throws them off and blasts Atom Smasher point blank, nearly killing him. But yeah, nothing in the League is working. You've got several other teams. The Suicide Squad is trying to gun him down. You have so many people and ideas being thrown at the wall, but it's very obvious Godzilla just can't be stopped. So finally, Lex, Cyborg, Mr. Terrific, and Green Lantern finally get the portal working. So Superman has to lure Godzilla back to the base, and what he does is actually uses heat vision to strike Godzilla directly in the eye, and that pisses it. He's like, "I'm gonna fuck you up now." So Godzilla chases after Superman. Excuse me. So Godzilla chases after Superman all the way back to Lex's laboratory, where Lex sends Godzilla back to his universe. And so by the end of it, everyone in the DC universe learned that day that Godzilla is the king. Not just in that universe, but in every universe. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much Godzilla versus the DC universe. You guys tell me in the comments below. What did you guys think of it? Like I said, this is a crossover I hope we get in some capacity. But yeah, for now we'll just have to use this. We'll just have to make do with this. But anyway, once again, I'd like to thank Nolan and Neho for their continued patronage, as well as this Patreon request. And like I said, if you'd like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon. For guys' hearts, send me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.